Look, guys, we're in the middle of the desert in Utah, and those are palm trees. Let's go check them out. Check it out, guys. It's a doomsday prepper house.
Containers. I heard they've got thousands of rabbits.
Check it out. This is Doomsday Prepper House.
They have a slide.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff there. We are currently out in the middle of nowhere in Utah, and we are going to be heading right over this way because we have something really fascinating to show you.
Welcome to today's adventure. I don't know if you can really see those well. They kind of look like palm trees out in the middle of the desert, but they are not. This is a solar farm that's had a lot of controversy because the guy who built it got a $50 million grant from the U.S. government, and they're saying it was a complete fraud, and he's going to prison. So we're going to show you these interesting things out here in the middle of the desert. This is called Abraham, Utah. And here we are with Angie with adventure dog Jelly. Jelly's grown quite a bit since our last video. She's now 5.5 months old. And again, we're headed out to
And this road is bumpy.
those
sorry.
guys. There's a random diesel.
Looks like it's been parked there for quite a while.
Dirt roads. If you know where Delta, Utah is, or find a map, it is out in the middle of nothing. And over there is our random power solar farm. Here's one of the houses that they're using for the building of that place. Check this place out. Classic middle of the nowhere house with a boat and other crazy things. All right, here's the little dirt road that leads you to the solar... What did they call this place? It was like a solar farm, I think. Yeah, solar farm.
Something like that. They look like giant palm trees.
Here we go. Let's see what these things are.
We'll have to give you the history on these things because not only is it fascinating why they're here, but it's really interesting what has happened with all of it.
I feel like we're going out to Area 51 almost.
Yeah, we are going out nowhere.
This reminds me a lot of Groom Lake Road, if you've ever heard of Groom Lake Road. We're just going out to the middle of nothing. And Nevada is literally just over those mountains, if you see those mountains in the background. All right, check these things out.
Aren't they so weird looking?
I would say they're probably 50, 60, maybe 70 feet tall. Very interesting. We're going to pull over right here and check them out. Look at these things. All right, they've put these signs up because there's been a lot of visitors to this place because it's just, I don't know, it's just so weird. Check these things out. Look at this. Here's one's closest to us. So the story goes that there's this businessman out of Salt Lake City, Utah, I do believe. Bought this land out here west of Delta, Utah. And he came up with the idea that they could harness energy from the sun with these things by moving them. You see, there's like this pivot right here and these handles, and they could move them towards the sun, rotate them, and they could literally harness the energy from the sun. And he was able to get a, I believe, a $50 million grant from the U.S. government to do this. But, so they started building these. They've got 2 rows of them. You've got a couple over there. You can see the poles or pipe. And then way over there by that house we filmed earlier is a whole bunch more of these circular guys right here. Anyways, he started building these and hired a whole bunch of people. And then lo and behold, government started investigating their grant money that they lent into them. And apparently they're saying this was a whole complete hoax or fraud. And literally there was no real use to it at all.
Julie's like, yep.
She's excited for the fraud too. Right? Fraud. Anyways, so yeah, so he spent quite a bit of money building this, but I don't think it was all the 50 million. And now it's in, I think they're going to litigation right now. He could be going to prison. But this place is crazy. What are your thoughts, guys?
Our thoughts are something like this out in the middle of the desert. It looks like some crazy weird thing you would build to like have aliens come to Earth. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Super weird. We're literally about 60 miles west of I-15. Again, like I said earlier, those mountains right there is where Nevada is. And we're just out here. Nothing. There is a power plant over there. Well, we'll try to point it out. Right there. It's called Intermountain Power Project. And they supply power to LA using coal. Anyways, we're going to get some drone shots of this thing. Pretty sweet.
In the middle of nowhere. It feels like Timbuktu out here. And these massive giant solar panels, I don't even think our video footage can do justice for how huge they are. A lot of them are broken and fallen down. I'm not sure exactly what the objective was with these things, but in my mind, when I look at them, I envision them channeling aliens from like up above so the aliens will know where to come down to Earth, because these things are weird. I mean, this one right here, it's obviously broken from up top, but they're the craziest giant things I've ever seen. Is that not weird or what?
Alright, so we're just checking this thing out. They've got that giant military crane truck over there. It's probably what they use to lift these things. They've got concrete mixers, tractors. They've got like 5 of those big expensive man lift things. Cherry pickers, whatever you want to call them. It was like a full-blown operation that went essentially nowhere. And now you can see, I just kind of flip it around, they're broken The glass is broken in them. They've crashed. They've fallen down. And yeah. And I wouldn't doubt they'll probably just be stuck out here forever. Check out this right here. We've been seeing a couple of these things. See if I can point it out.
Weird little bucket
right
things.
there. They're buckets. And some of them are covered in concrete and some aren't. We're thinking they were using those as like weight. Big weights to kind of help maneuver these things so they could steer them towards the sun. Maybe it was an actual valid idea. Maybe he was actually trying to harness energy from the sun. But it just failed miserably and he's possibly going to prison. It's pretty crazy. There's like the whole row. They're just fascinating.
Maybe when we get back home, we'll pull up an article and give you further descriptions on what's happening now with all of this and the legal case. There's no cell phone service out here to hop on the internet. So when we get home, we'll do that for you.
Anyway, yeah, there's the road. We haven't seen another car for a while. There's one of the man lifts over there, if you can see it. They put a lot of money into this, and a lot of money did not go into this, apparently. But, yeah, it's just... It's one of those things you see out in the middle of the desert, and you just kind of scratch your head at it. So here's one of the buckets. They're, like, really shiny, but we've seen a couple of them that have concrete listed on.
Do you think
Actually,
they're shiny to also attract the sun?
I would think so. But look,
But then why would they
here's
put
the
that
ones with the
concrete
concrete on the outside of them.
Is it concrete or plaster?
That's concrete.
But why would you put concrete? Wouldn't you want them shiny so the sun could reflect?
I have no idea because I don't know what they were actually using them for. Check. We're going to show this one because this one's really weird. We're thinking maybe they were just using this as like a test. But there's a toolbox. A toolbox that goes on the back of a pickup truck. Up there in one of them.
Okay, yeah, what would the toolbox be for? That is bizarre.
Wait, that's a radiator. That is a car radiator.
Now, why is there a car radiator?
Radiator,
What's on
a
the
toolbox.
Bottom, what's on the bottom of that toolbox? That square thing.
It looks like some type of electrical box or panel. And then there's one of the man lifts. They've got like 5 of them, and those things are not cheap.
So do you think maybe the toolbox was up there so when they needed tools, they could have access to them and they wouldn't have to keep getting...
I think it was for weight. I think they were using it to test what weight they needed. Who knows?
So bizarre.
Anywho, that's gonna do it for this craziness.
About to head out from the lonely desert.
We're headed
Utah.
We're headed back home where we just got told that we got like almost 20 inches of snow this morning. So I got to go home and snow blow.
We're not excited for it, but we'll show you pictures of our snow when we get there.
But yeah, if you're ever just somehow meandering the desert with some time on your hands, Abraham, Utah, west of Delta, Utah.
Yeah, come check
the
these
Alien
out.
Towers.
These are so bizarre.
Goodbye, Alien Towers. And everybody that's watching this video,
thanks for rolling with us. We'll see you later.
And middle of the desert,
Aww.
a stuffed animal. Looks like a frog.
Poor little frog.
He's living the dream in the desert.
That's a ton of snow.